Good morning, Mr. Maggie and my friends. So today, the topic I'm going to present to you is on conflict management. So before I start on my presentation, let me just bring you through the ever-evolving social media applications and sites. And long time ago, before social media was so popular, we only started with a mere few apps like this. But then later, it grew and grew and grew. So today, there are so many social media applications and sites, and we wonder, why is it still growing? Well, because for many of us, social media has made it a lot simpler for us to stay connected in people's lives. And today, expanding our professional network becomes just one click away, and catching up with long-lost friends becomes one click away, and even job hunting becomes one click away. So today, the problem we are going to talk about is on the lack of efficient use of social media in companies, which causes an ineffective communication. The case study we are looking at is on SMRT's breakdown contingency plan. The two important parties we are looking at is SMRT senior management as well as its commuters. Okay, let me just present to you a presentation outline for my group. I'll be covering the introduction. Wendy will be covering the methods of disseminating information, inadequacies and solutions. Zhu Yun will be presenting to you the inadequacies, solutions, suggestions, as well as improvements. Li Hua will be talking to you about the learning points. And lastly, Ili will be covering the applications as well as the conclusion. Okay, now I'll just break the background of the issue into two simpler, understandable parts. Firstly is the pre-incident build-up, and second is the main event itself. For the first pre-incident build-up, it consists of the train fare increase as well as the North-South line service disruption. Okay, the SMRT announced a 1% train fare increase, which actually to many is not that big a percentage, but it did cause quite a lot of public discontentment because just 2 weeks after the announcement of the train fare increase, there was a North-South line disruption that affected more than 5,000 commuters. And for the actual incident itself, which happened on 15 December 2011 on the North-South line, many of the 127,000 commuters were affected in the service disruption, and due to the power failure, they were trapped in darkness as well as have limited ventilation. And as seen from this picture, one of the commuters even broke and smashed the window probably because of just to try to get more ventilation. Okay, to date, there are a few more incidents that occurred on SMRT. It consists of the Circle Line service disruption, the North-South line service disruption, as well as the fare hike yet again. For the Circle Line service disruption, there was a power failure in one North station, which affected 23 out of 28 of the MRT stations. And just 4 days before the breakdown again, the SMRT announced a 3.2% fare hike. Okay, and this caused a lot of public discontentment because they view it as the government allowing the SMRT fare increase despite the frequent breakdown as well as the subpar service standards. And lastly, at North-South, there was a North-South line service disruption on January 2014. 19,000 commuters were stranded on a Monday morning, causing many to be late for work, and everybody was upset. There was a lot of discontentment. Okay, in retrospect, I would say that we conclude the main cause of the public discontentment is due to the failure in relaying messages through social networks, and this will be further explained by my groupmate Wendy. And so now I'll pass my time to Wendy. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. The importance of social media can actually be further justified from the 2011 incident. But before moving on any further, let's take a look at the overview of the SMRT communication system. Okay, so in the event of train disruptions, the SMRT operations control center will give instructions to the control stations, and the staff there will provide information to the affected commuters. And for this case study, we will be reviewing on information dissemination from the control station to the commuters. Okay, so from this case study, we have actually gathered 4 modes of information dissemination which was used by SMRT. SMRT staff has also helped out in giving instructions to the confused commuters and hence allowing the diversion of crowd away from the station. And also, information regarding bus bridging services were also broadcasted through on-station LCD screens to alert the commuters of alternative transportation options. And lastly, announcements of train disruptions were broadcasted by the control station staff in the affected stations. As we can see from all these efforts by SMRT, they have actually put in a lot to minimize the inconvenience imposed on the commuters. However, the public still think that more could be done. So now let's watch a short video of interviews of the affected commuters back in 2011.
Brazil, the train broke, nobody informed anything, bad communication.
I was there from 6:30, see what's the time now? It's going to be close to 8. Inside the train, they thought there will be a bus to take to the next MRT station. When we go and ask them at the counter customer service, they said, no, you have to make your own arrangements.
Because we weren't informed before we got on the Circle line that the north-south line wasn't working. We arrive at Dhoby Ghat, and then we're told that the north-south line isn't working. They should have informed us so we don't get on the Circle line. We just take a cab from wherever we are or a bus from wherever we are.
So from all the comments and feedbacks by the commuters, we have actually classified them into 4 main points, highlighting SMRT's inadequacy in relaying information to the public. To begin, SMRT did not provide clear information to the trapped passengers in the stopped train. When the breakdown occurred, the trapped passengers were unaware of what was going on and how long do they have to wait. No instructions were issued to them either. In the end, they waited for nearly an hour before the staff facilitated them to detrainment procedures. And hence, it suggests that SMRT could provide timely updates on service status, the expected duration of train disruption, as well as alternative travel options such as bus bridging services via new communication channels such as mass SMS alert, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as smartphone applications. On top of that, they could also make use of in-train electronic display to inform the passengers of the train disruptions. So I will now hand over to Julian to continue on this part.
Thanks, Wendy. Now let's continue to look at other inadequacies by SMRT we have identified. During the disruption, SMRT failed to provide clear information on bus bridging service. As we can see from the picture here, the electronic display only shows there's a bus bridging service available, but it failed to provide information on where and when the bus bridging service would be available. So we suggest that in case of the breakdown, the train operator should provide easy to understand information and detail on alternative transport option in forms of announcement, pamphlet, signs, and electronic display. Also, the information should be only made when they are actually in operation. Another inadequacy by SMRT we identified is that the SMRT failed to inform the commuters taking other lines about the train disruption. Thus, this adds on to the already crowded platform when the commuters trying to interchange to the affected line. Hence, we suggest the SMRT to update all commuters about the train disruption via the following channels: mass SMS alerts, social networking channels such as Twitter and Facebook, as well as through TV and radio broadcasting. SMRT's announcements and notice boards were only provided in English, and the boards are not obvious. This is another inadequacy we've identified. Thus, we suggest that the announcements and the display of information should also made in the other 3 languages besides English. And more of the notice boards should be placed to catch the commuter's attention. So, what are the improvements by the train operator since the 2011 train incident? To address this problem, SMRT now has become an active user on the social networking platform Information such as the reasons of the delay, the expected duration of the delay, and the availability of the free shuttle bus service can all be found on their Twitter and Facebook page. To address the problem of bus bridging service, SMRT now are providing more clearer information on the signage. As we can see from the picture here, which bus stop to pick up, details such as which bus stop to pick up and the direction of the bus traveling can all be found on the boards. SMRT now has tapped on the use of mass SMS alert to inform commuters taking other train line about a train breakdown. Also, electronic display on the train line status, service status can also be found on the station. The train provider now are providing information and displaying the information in 4 different languages. This allows the commuter who do not understand English to also be informed of the train breakdown. Next, I will hand over to my crewmate Li Hua to talk about the leading point of our project. Li Hua, please.
Thank you, Juni. Now I'll move on to the next part, the learning points for SMRT breakdowns. SMRT failed to apply social media to disseminate information effectively. Comparing 2011 to now, in 2011 May, SMRT created a Twitter account but was not actively in use. There were massive public discontentment and huge time lapse between service disruption and notification on Twitter, which also means that commuters have to receive information after a very long time. So, how SMRT can do to improve communication through social media? SMRT should disseminate information timely, clearly, concisely, in simple languages to ensure that every commuter gets the message without any misunderstanding. To add on, SMRT should relay information to commuters through 4 different languages: English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. This ensures that all commuters are able to understand the given information, even they do not have the English background. SMRT has improved on relaying information through social medias. For example, SMRT now is more active in use of Twitter and Facebook with timely updates. So, although SMRT has improved its information relaying information, what else MRT can be done to further improve communication service? MRT can put in more efforts on improving two-way communication. Two-way communication is a form of transmission involves 2 parties transmit information. The transmission of information can be done easily through social media. It promotes effective two-way communication. For example, commuters can give constructive feedbacks and suggestions to SMRT by tagging them on Facebook or Twitter. And SMRT can access to the feedbacks and improve on it. Besides on using social media to improve communication service, SMRT can also improve on internal communication between control center and control station. This is to ensure that all the SMRT staff know what's going on and know how to determine procedures during the train disruption, so that SMRT staff at control station can display information on LCD screens and broadcast announcement once they get the information. Furthermore, SMRT should focus more on commuters' welfare being while handling technical issues. Here comes to the end of my part. Now I will hand over to Eli to finish up application.
Thank you, Li Hua. So, as we have heard from the previous presenters on the case study of SMRT,
SMRT's failure to include social media in its contingency plan before its train breakdown has actually caused a lot of consequences for SMRT to handle, and also it builds up the commuters' break of trust in SMRT. It also builds up the commuters' discontentment. And so, what we can learn from this case study is that social media is actually a very important tool in disseminating information, and it allows information to be spread widely and very fast, in a very fast time. So these are the common social media platforms that we use to facilitate discussions, to pass on information such as WhatsApp or Line. And besides these two functions, social media can also be used to connect to people around the world and with people of the same interest, people in the same line of field. And also, social media can also be used to coordinate events. And especially when we are in university, when we are engaged in a lot of events, a lot of commitments, organizing events, it should be something that's very common to us. And so there's this application called Eventbrite. It actually simplifies event coordination in a few simple steps. And I'll just show you a short clip on how this application works.
Eventbrite is a simple, one-stop event ticketing site that allows you to set up a customized web page for your event, sell tickets or collect registrations, and promote your event to help you pack the house. Here's how it works. Let's say you have a great idea for an event. It could be a big event or a small event. First, go to our website, eventbrite.com, to create your event. Enter the event information, add a description, and upload images or video to let people know what your event is all about. Then create your ticket types, set the prices, and choose a payment type, so that when your attendees buy tickets, you can receive the money. Once you've got that set up, just click Save and Publish, and your event page goes live on the web. Now let's pack the house. You can send out email invitations, publish your event to Facebook, and use custom tracking links to see which of your marketing campaigns are most effective. When attendees come to your event page, they just select the ticket type, enter their credit card information, and they receive an email confirmation and PDF ticket. You receive the money, and it's as simple as that. We also help your attendees spread the word about your event. Throughout the site, we make it really easy for them to share your event with their friends through social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. That way, their friends can discover your amazing event, buy tickets.
Yeah, so that was a very short clip on how this application actually simplifies event coordination in just a few clicks on our device. Okay, so secondly, social media brings the world closer. It really brought the world closer together. And people from half a globe away, they are just a few clicks away to connect with us. And so, as graduating students, when we apply for jobs, when we are hunting for jobs, be it in Singapore or be it overseas, it has become so much simpler. And nowadays, recently, the HR department, they actually look us up in the internet to find information about us. And what they see on our social media platforms, be it Facebook or LinkedIn, it actually helps them paint a picture of our attitude, our character, and whether it helps them to assess whether we are fit for the company's culture. And imagine your Facebook is filled with negative comments, vulgarities such as this, as you see on the screen. Oh, this will definitely leave a very bad impression on the employers, and this might just cost us our dream job. And it's very sad to lose that opportunity because of all these things. And so, another area to touch on is for aspiring entrepreneurs. It is a very powerful marketing tool that we cannot ignore. Companies nowadays, they are using Instagram, they are using Facebook, they are using all the popular social media platforms to connect to people, to connect to us. And so as aspiring entrepreneurs, all the more we should use social media wisely, we should manage them wisely. When consumers, they are able to contact us, when they are able to see us leave instant feedbacks, instant managing of sensitive comments, or even connecting with us, it actually instills a sense of of security in them to really buy from your company. And so the effect of social media, it has so much more. And so from this case study, what we would like to do is to encourage all of you to manage your social media wisely and to really make use of social media platforms in a way that is advantageous to us. So thank you. So any questions?
Besides the use of social media for communicating and service, what other things can SMRT do?
They can improve on incident management plan with clearly defined roles and responsibility for both staff at control center and control station. And also non-frontline staff can also help to assist commuters during disruption. Yeah.
So for more of real-time information.
Yes.
Have you guys heard about the new move that the SMRT pulled? They installed something like a traffic light at the entrance of the MRT station. Yeah, do you know about it?
Yeah, it indicates the platform whether it's crowded or not, right?
Yeah, how effective is it? Like,
I believe that the measure is just implemented, so it takes some time to know that. But of course, when you see the light is red, right, you won't. Because they already informed you that the traffic light, the human traffic light there is red, right? So you won't possibly go out. So that might help, I guess.
It seems to me that in other countries, in big cities like London, New York, Paris, Moscow, breakdowns like this occur every day, but you don't get the attention that you get here. And this became such a massive, the publicity was incredible. But the newspapers wouldn't bother with these sorts of things. They wouldn't waste newspaper space on this sort of thing in these cities. But why do you think they spend so much fuss and so much attention on something like this in Singapore? They wouldn't bother about it in London or New York. The subway broke down. It breaks down every day.
I feel that because the service disruption in year 2011, it is the first breakdown in its history of 24 years. So when the train broke down, many commuters, most of the commuters, they are affected. And MRT is like the main mode of transport for Singapore. And when Singapore is so small, and when our lines, they are just interconnected, many commuters, they are just affected. Whereas I feel that in London, when it really happens so often, I think they are just used to it. I mean, they are not as sensitive to the breakdown as before.
It happens during the peak hour.
Yeah, and in Singapore, it happens during peak hour. And
we're probably just really caught off guard because it never happened before, and the first one actually happened. There was like peace for 24 years, and it suddenly happened. So we were quite caught off guard, and many people didn't expect it, so it caused quite a lot of discontentment.
In addition, this happened after the fare hike. There's a SMRT D&D controversy, so it all happened after fare hikes, and the SMRT CEO portraying herself as king,
Mayan gods.
Yeah, as Mayan gods. So all this built up to the massive discontentment when the train got disrupted. Imagine we need to pay a lot, and then it got disrupted, so it builds up like this.
Okay,